Good morning, everyone. It's Ben Jones. I'm here in the coffee workshop. It is Friday morning, the 4th day of September. As we're still in summer, but we're moving toward autumn, I thought it'd be a good time to, just do something a little bit different. My typical coffee, I'm a big fan of just good old-fashioned plain coffee. Run it through paper filter with some hot water. Let me turn off that light. That's gonna be a funny shadow. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Anyway, this is what happens when you're lighting in your home workshop. All right, so I tend to just go for a simple cup of black coffee, well brewed. I don't like to add other flavors to it. The tasting notes that we include in our bags. This is the Guatemala El Volcan. Generally agreed upon by most people who drink this. The chocolatey tones are very similar to a milk chocolate, so less of that cocoa bitter. There's a caramel sugar note in there, so a little bit of that browning sugar. And then there's some tone of hazelnut. These are not flavors that get added into the coffee. These are naturally occurring flavor elements that are reminiscent of those things that naturally occur in the coffee when we roast it, and then you can find them when you brew. Now, quick note on the notes on the coffees. What you actually taste will be very different. This is a good guide, so you'll get some of this is the most commonly found flavors, but you may find some other tones, or you might find some of these a little bit less pronounced. That has a lot to do with your specific grinder, your brew method, your freshness of the coffee, and your water chemistry. Water chemistry is a huge factor in the way the coffee comes out. Different elements in that water, potassium, if you have chlorines, sodiums, all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, but what am I going to do today? As we're moving in toward autumn, pumpkin spice latte season. Yeah, let's be honest, y'all are wanting that pumpkin spice latte. I'm going to keep it simple with good old-fashioned black coffee, but I hit up the kitchen, grab a little bit of ginger, and grab a little bit of allspice. We're just going to make some coffee now. You can use my good old-fashioned Melita style brewer. I've got my number 2 Melita filter. Other brands work well. The Filtropa brand is one that we stock for this size. I just happen to have lots of these, so I use that. All right. Anyway, the crimped sides, just a quick refresher note. Best practice is to fold those inward. It doesn't matter which one you do first. If you have a favorite way to do it, absolutely do that. But just fold that in. That helps this to sit more evenly inside of our brewer. I'm going to take this and put that on top of my decanter. My water has been preheated to 202 degrees, giving it a little bit of time to cool off. So we're probably hovering right around 200 right now, maybe the high 190s. I like to rinse the paper filter. Again, best practice, because, well, if you want to know why, quick reminder, rinse a filter and then taste the rinse water. If you taste paper in this, it's a great reason to rinse your filters. Let me dump this out real fast. Excellent. All right, so I have my nice, fresh, clean, dumped out rinse water. I'm going to put my brew device on my scale, as always. Everything we're doing is kind of standard, par for the course. I've got my ground coffee. I weighed out ahead of time my 19 grams. Ground for the drip, so kind of, a little medium setting. I'm going to sprinkle in about half my coffee. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the ginger, and I just want to sprinkle a touch. We're just going to put this right in with the grounds. And then sorry, a little technical glitch there. A little bit of allspice. Just sprinkle a bit of that in there. I like the story of allspice. When it was discovered, the folks who found it, the colonizing Europeans who found it, they tasted it and they were like, that tastes a little bit like this, a little bit like that. Tastes kind of like clove, tastes kind of like cinnamon. It tastes like all the spices together, so they called it allspice. Fun story, kind of cool. Just for kicks, let's add this, a little star anise. These are fun. I really like the way they look, especially. They smell amazing. I'm just gonna add that right in there. Top the rest of our coffee on top of that. And then from here, it's just business as usual, brewing a cup of coffee. Giving a little leveling shake is good. So, refresher, we want to add just enough hot water to get all of our coffee nice and wet. If you're using a scale, you just want to shoot for kind of double your mass of the ground. So if I put 19 grams in, I'm just going to shoot for about times 2, 38, 45 grams, somewhere in that range. Just enough to let that start to soak in, let the water get primed into all of my little particles. Takes about 30 to 45 seconds. Let's go right back here. Start in the middle and just small circles outward. Just trying to keep nice even flow rate. Just trying to break up the chunks, break up the dark spots. Get down here real close and smell it, because it smells really yummy. Just like this. Hot water on top of the coffee. If you have a pour kettle, that's great. If you don't have a pour kettle, that's okay. A little tip and trick that we've talked about in the past. Let me pull one of my spoons down. You can use any type of bowl-shaped spoon and just pour into that, holding this right over your bed of coffee, and that will help to kind of diffuse the water on top of the grounds, soften and reduce agitation in the drips. Keeping everything the same. I'm shooting for my same target ratios. Weight of the beans times 17 for my water. It's a great starting point. That puts this just a touch over 300. So if I hit between 300 and 325, we're pretty happy. Then we just let it drip through. Let me put my spoon away. All right. Very good. So, what this is going to give us is the Guatemala. Got that little El Volcan, all the flavor notes that we find in there, the chocolatey tones, the hazelnuts, that nice caramel sweetness, accented with our ginger and our allspice, and a little bit of a delicious anise flavor. It's going to take a moment to drip through, and then we'll have a little taster of it. See how we're doing. Because I tend to like my coffee simple, straightforward, and black, I'm not going to be adding any milk to this. However, a small splash of half and half, or if you really want to go for it, maybe you're doing keto, drop into the heavy whipping cream. That'll just give it a little texture. If you really want to go nuts with it, you can stir in a little bit of sweetened condensed milk, and that'll get it a little sweeter for you. You can do it this route. I chose to do it this way, using my ceramic brewer and a glass vessel, because other things can absorb flavors. I could have used my AeroPress for this, then we get that really good full immersion with all those flavors and pull out all those tones real nicely. But challenge with plastic brewers is they may, not guaranteed, they may absorb some of the flavors, which means if I make myself a ginger allspice cup of coffee today out of my AirPress, I could be tasting it for the next couple weeks. So just be aware, and if you like it, then by all means go for it. The aroma on this is fantastic. It smells like coffee with ginger and allspice in it, because that is exactly what it is. Got a little mug here. It's nice, it's pleasant. By sprinkling just a little bit in there, letting the water pull out the flavors, it'll extract the flavors of the spices, very similar to how it does with the coffee. And of course the paper filtration, that will prevent you from getting like any clumps. So if I were to sprinkle ginger or allspice into my beverage, I'd have to stir it, and I would have more actual physical matter. And then I also risk the chance of having clumps. So here is the precursor to our autumn pumpkin spice lattes. Happy September. It is my favorite month of the year. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have a great weekend. Labor Day weekend. So I will not be back on Monday morning. Sorry to say. But I'll see you next week on Friday. Take care.